Don't make me come back there. What was that? Was that you, Locke? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the episode 25 of the Crafty Boys, where we realize 5 minutes before the broadcast that I'm an idiot. So there you go. Hi, how's
it wasn't 5 minutes before the broadcast.
That's it. I'm leaving. Oh my God. You know what? You know what, boys? You know what? I'm gonna come to your places of where you live, and I'm gonna cut you. Welcome to Wednesday night, everybody. My name is Shay, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing, so I'm gonna move on to Alan. Alan, who are you, man?
Hey, I'm Alan. I'm in Victoria, and I'm one of the Crafty Boys, and it's episode 25. And Shane's doing a pour. Well, we'll get to him in a second here. Let's move it on up to Dave, who's up island. Dave, introduce yourself.
Yeah, Dave. In the valley, as it were, as we call it. Although there are several on the island.
Dave ain't got no friends in the valley!
And moving on to over there, also in Vancouver, the foreboding-looking guy. Or no, you're not even in Vancouver, are you?
Right now I'm in Toronto.
Yeah, that's right, you're in Toronto.
But presently in Toronto.
All right, that's Lockhart.
Are you in a different location in Toronto?
Sorry?
Are you in a different location in Toronto? Well, because the last time you were in Toronto a couple weeks ago, you were in like these digs that looked really fancy.
Oh, yeah.
It looked like you're in the upstairs of a bar.
I'm just in the basement right now. That's all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like he's in a pantry.
It looks I am literally right next to the pantry.
Oh, and okay. His connectivity is a bit stronger, anyway. So is that where the router is downstairs?
I'm also right next to the router. Yeah.
Nice. So, boys, what's the beer this week? Selected by our fair maiden in Comox Valley, Dave.
No, actually, not.
You're not a maiden?
It was selected
and
by
I
me.
also did choose the beer.
Oh, right, you were the ginger boy last week. All right, yeah. So, Alan, hi, how's it going, man?
Hey. This week's beer selection is Hoyne Brewing's Entre Nous. That's the label right there. It's a Belgian cherry wit beer. It's 5.1%. This is a seasonal brew that actually just got released in the last couple weeks. I actually gave this one a try already over the weekend. I was really impressed with it, so I thought, well, hey, why not? Let's introduce it here on the show this week. So I put out the call to all of you guys, and Dave went out and got his bottle, and Lockhart couldn't get a bottle because he's in Ontario. He's too far away. And then Shane, what did you do? Explain to the people.
Well, I made sure to farm out my beer shopping to one of the few talented individuals in the city, and unfortunately they weren't available, so I had to get Allie to do it, and apparently I've got I don't know what I have. I've got Moon. A Moon underwater brewery concoction of an unfiltered Pilsner of some sort that I know very little about. But although I will point out that Hoyne, the Entre Nous, is not available in Vancouver yet.
Oh, it's not?
Or at least not at the liquor store. I did go to the Beer and Wine a little while ago, and they didn't have any Hoyne at all. So I had to get some Moon underwater brewery beer because that was the next best thing.
You got mooned.
Nice.
So this is a recurring theme, like in our episodes here from week to week. If we choose something from one location, especially if it's new, it hasn't spread throughout the entire through all the areas of the province. So this is just a common
Never mind
theme
the
that
whole
we
country.
seem to get. Yeah,
That's true. I
never
mean,
mind the whole country.
well, the other thing too is that a lot of the beers we've had over the last little while are are don't look at me. Have been actually from breweries on Vancouver Island. So, like, not every single one,
That's
but
true.
quite a few of them. So, I'm actually kind of surprised that island breweries have it. Like, I would expect anything from the island would be here like right away, but I guess not. Like the cold beer and wine that I normally go to, they'd heard of Hoyne, and they had some Hoyne a long time ago, but they hadn't had them in a while. So, at least what they said. So
Okay.
the only place that did have it was the BC liquor store, and they only had two different of their beers. So one of which was not available anywhere near me. I would have had to gone out to Chilliwack for that, for one of them, which I've forgotten which one. But they had another one which had lots, like 115 bottles at the one just up the street kind of thing.
Wow.
So
here's something I just want to talk about, just a little bit briefly. Given that we've been talking about, the island and BC and, the fact that there are a lot of very interesting breweries in Victoria and on the island generally. Have you noticed how if therethere's something going on somewhere like close by, but certainly somewhere in Canada, other Canadians will just look at it and go, "Oh, well, but that's just Victoria, right?" Like, if you wanted to find a place where they have interesting craft brews in Vancouver, will you find a place called, Island Experience or something like that, where they have stuff from Vancouver Island? No. What you find is Portland Craft, because Portland's exotic when you're in Vancouver, but for whatever reason, Victoria isn't. It's sort of like, if you remember back in the 90s, there was that place in Victoria. So Victoria's guilty too, right? Victoria, do you remember Club California?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great place to
what
pick
the
up.
hell was that? Why do I know that name?
That was a nightclub.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
okay.
terrible nightclub.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they all were.
yeah. Well, anyway, I'm just saying it's sort of a thing that, like, come on, Canada, a little self-recognition. Things don't have to be from the States in order to be cool. They don't have to be from somewhere else. You can be Canadian and be cool.
Yeah.
But can you? Is this not quintessentially Canadian? Right?
Yeah, maybe so.
This kind of attitude, exactly. I'm not saying it's right. But doesn't that strike you as just the way it is? Like, seriously.
We don't have the population to be throwing our weight around in most instances, unless we're on the hockey rink. You know what I mean?
And aren't half of our players from other countries anyway?
No.
Well,
Oh? Oh, almost.
More than half the NHL are probably Canadian, and more than half the teams are probably American.
I think it's between 60 and 65% are Canadian. The rest are American, Russian, Swedish, Finnish.
Yeah.
And then there's a few others, from elsewhere.
Yeah.
Elsewhere.
Elsewhere, like maybe somebody from Britain or
Iceland
or no, probably not. Zimbabwe. All right, I'm gonna do my pour. Okay, here we go. The Entre Nous. We're pouring it. Good golden.
That is a nice color. I like that.
Although it's a little more neon than it truly is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Dave, you've had a taste. Tell me what you think.
I had several tastes, actually.
What? Dave has found a beer that has a taste that he enjoys?
I you know what? I don't know what to make of this one yet. I'm on the fence. As weird as that sounds, I am on the fence.
Hmm.
It's got an interesting flavor. It's like this. Okay, for starters, I don't taste cherries. That doesn't surprise me. I'm getting used to that. Um, and I didn't smell it either this time, which is a little bit different because normally, you know how you really smell like what did we do? Was it a peach or an apricot last time? You guys remember?
Ginger.
And no, I'm thinking of fruit.
Oh, I don't know.
I think
I
it
don't
was a
remember.
peach.
Possibly.
Anyways, I remember really smelling it like it was unmistakable, but there was no real taste of it. And in this, I don't smell it, and I don't really taste the cherries. It's got this really interesting kind of smoky thing going on, actually, which I like. I do. It's a different tasting beer, most definitely.
It,
from what
it,
I'm
it has
used to.
it has a sweetness to it that makes me feel like cherries. It's also got a bit of a it's got a bit of a reddish tinge to it. I mean, it's definitely got cherries in it. And
That was highly disturbing what you said.
what?
I wasn't going to go there, but go ahead and help yourself.
All right. Yeah, that's good. I'm blushing now. Shane, take it. How's your beer? Tell us all about it. About the cherry goodness and everything that you're tasting and all that. Shane? I think we lost Shane.
Yeah. He's being frozen by the ice witch.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. So what are you drinking there, Lockhart?
So, exciting find. So, I'm drinking mead, or I'm about to drink mead. So this is called Braggot Mead.
You
It's
haven't even cracked it yet.
describes itself as a traditional alcoholic beverage on the front. 5%. Now, then I happened to take a look at the ingredients. It says water, honey, yep, barley, hops, yeast. Okay, barley and hops don't always go into mead. So, reading the back here, derived from the simple mixture of fermented honey, butter, and yeast, the art of mead making reaches back thousands of years, peaking in the Middle Ages. Spiritual and cultural significance of mead has been celebrated for centuries. Trafalgar's mead braggot adds premium hops and malts to the ancient recipe, creating a delicious, refreshing drink unlike any other, and leading me to wonder whether it is, in fact, as it says, a traditional alcoholic beverage. But traditional or otherwise, it looks good, so let's give it a shot.
Okay.
It's got these, so I'm going to loosen the cork. This thing doesn't explode.
Big mushroom cloud in Ontario. Go to work on it there, Lockhart.
Do it.
All right. No, wait. Not yet. Hold on.
Please tell me he's wearing pants. Please tell me he's wearing pants. Okay.
We're wearing pants. Yeah, well.
No, I had one of these hangouts with a client who stood up, said, "Oh, I'll be right back," and we had cameras going, and he stood up and walked away from the computer, and he was completely nude, and it was like, oh my god. And then he came back.
Oh wow!
Luckily, I didn't get a full-on French shot because he'd put on some underwear at that point. But he came back, and I said, "Dude, you realized you're naked when you walked away from the camera, right?" And he goes, "Oh, I left the camera on." And another client, we were having a chat this way, not a live thing, my God. And he turned around, was talking to somebody else off camera. Then he came back and started talking to me again. And the person walked up behind him and flashed her breasts, and then put her shirt down. And I started to laugh. And he goes, "Why? What happened?" He turns around and he goes, "I'm talking to somebody on the computer. They just saw you." Oh, it was amazing. So that's why every time somebody gets up to walk away from a computer or we're actually have cameras running, I'm like, please make sure he's wearing pants. Anyway, Locke, sorry, go ahead.
So, it's delicious. It's
That's awesome.
I'll be honest and say that this isn't my favorite mead that I've ever had. This is okay. It's good. Mead is usually a tasty drink. It's hard for it not to be tasty when it's made out of fermented honey. I don't know if the barley and the hops are adding anything. Best mead I ever had, I would describe as having the ring and clarity of the cry of a Valkyrie. This does not quite make that grade, but it is a mighty fine beverage nonetheless.
I've never had a mead before.
No?
I feel like it's something I should have.
For all that it's made of honey, I think a really good mead often does not turn out sweet, but rather has a tang to it, you know?
Okay. Well, I'll put that on my hit list. Stuff to try soon. Shane, you're back. So tell us about your beer.
I'm back. Did I go somewhere? Did my entire browser crash and then I had to restart the darn thing? Yay,
Yes,
Windows 10! Yeah, no, it totally died. I don't know why. But the brilliant thing about these recording sessions is that the recording keeps going. As long as one person is connected, it doesn't matter if people drop in and out. So, or unless everybody crashes and we all go offline. So anyway, the beer that I got this week is from a brewery I've never heard of before called Moon Underwater. They really need to work on their logo. I think that there's definitely room for improvement there. But it's called Moon. And the moon is great. I like the way it looks. But overall, it's an unfiltered Pilsner. It is a very light yellow in color. And apparently it gets stocked right beside Hoyne. And sometimes you just grab the wrong thing. Overall, I give it a thumbs up because I don't mind it at all.
Okay. Well, now I believe Moon Underwater. I mean, I've had Moon Underwater before. I've never been a really big fan of their stuff, but I believe that they have changed hands in the past couple of years. I believe it's under new ownership, and I don't know if
that too. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're right. Yeah.
I feel like I should maybe give them a second shot. I think it was the first owner of Moon Underwater kind of didn't kind of mismanaged the company a little bit. It sounded like. So I don't know. We'll see. I'd be willing to give it another try.
Well, I definitely am not hating it. I mean, it's actually quite. It's very light. I mean, it barely has any taste at all. But I wouldn't run out to get it again. But again, I might have to warm up to it. Ask me in an hour, and I'll tell you.
What's the alcohol content on that?
5.2, I think.
5.2. That's not bad.
I brewed this beer in the style of the Great North German Pilsners. 38 IBU of Saz and Cascade hops shine right through the Bohemian malts, resulting in a blend of herby, dry, hop, and citrus notes. Unfiltered, mashed, dry, hopped, and lagered for 5 weeks. This ain't your father's Pilsner.
Thank God, because that would be pretty old.
I know. That would be so incredibly strange.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Be like a
But
30-year-old
overall, I give it a
beer.
thumbs up. I'm not loving it. So it's not bad.
Okay.
But again, I'm not a Pilsner guy. I tend to stray
Yeah.
away from those. So that might be why.
All right.
So,
we
what
talking
other
about?
Hoynes have you guys tried? Because I will actually point out that another Hoyne beer that I really have enjoyed in the past is the Dark Matter.
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
that a few times. I think we had it at Beer Fest last year in Victoria.
Probably.
I
I
think
don't remember.
yeah, I don't remember much from that. I remember something about talking and then the words, and then next thing I know, I'm passed out.
Yeah.
But overall, I didn't mind the overall experience of the Dark Matter beer. I like it. I've had it several times since. It's very dark and rich and yummy, and I like it. So I guess you have to really, but of course, again, I'm a dark sort of drinker, so
That's very dark.
I
Too.
meant the beer. Nothing to do with any of the bodies that I've hidden. Yeah. What about you, Dave? Have you had any other Hoyne stuff aside from what you're drinking right now?
No, definitely not.
Okay, hands up, people that actually think Dave should actually this year show up to Beer Fest.
Well, considering I already bought him a ticket, yes.
I sort of don't want to be a hypocrite, given that I don't know if I can make it. But
That's okay.
yeah,
If you can't make it, I'm sure my dad will go.
Or possibly Todd.
Are you kidding? Is Todd really going to be let out of his cage?
I have no idea.
I had to duck after saying that.
there's the man cave and then there's the man cage.
Wah wah wah. So anyway, I'm going to hear about that later. So, what about? I mean, I don't know what to say else about Hoyne because I mean I know one of their beers very well and I like it, so I give Hoyne a thumbs up. But again, what other things have we been talking about this like what's been going on this past week aside from, I don't know, them finding wreckage from that missing plane from a year and a half ago.
How about let's talk about Hitchbot?
Okay, I'm glad you bring that up. So, do you guys know what Hitchbot is?
I do.
No.
But do our viewers or listeners know?
What is
Well, that is why we are going to educate them. But I'm curious if Locke or if you or Dave, I'm assuming you guys know what it is, but maybe not.
Okay, is it?
I do
mean,
not.
Is it like Uber?
No.
Okay, so you guys obviously have no clue what we're talking about. So let me educate you, and Alan, of course, will help you as well. Hitchbot is apparently it's being resurrected, but it is a hitchhiking robot, and essentially what it is it's a little robot with
It's
a
a
friendly
bucket.
little LED face. It's a bucket, yeah, and it was originally left on the side of a road in I think St. John's, with the request written on it saying I would like to go to the west coast of Canada. So it made it. I think this is 2014. I've forgotten exactly how long it took, but it did make it from one end of our country to the other, simply being picked up and driven by complete strangers along the way. Then I think went to Holland and the Netherlands and one other country that I can't remember at the moment. But essentially hitched across those countries as well. Did it successfully. And its journey in the United States began 3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and it made it from somewhere in just west of Manhattan, somewhere on Long Island, and it made it to Philly, and was then brutally dismantled. So it's a friendly little thing, and I can't help but say, making it across Canada and several other countries in Europe without a problem. Just because when you get this bot, it does make a request that if its battery is low, could you please plug it in to charge it up, kind of thing. And people did that. I find it very interesting that it got to the United States and then was murdered.
On the streets
So
of Philadelphia.
on the streets of Philadelphia. So
Brotherly love, yo.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that coincidence, or did they just
I
happen to
don't
run
think
into the
so.
wrong people?
I think obviously they ran into the wrong people, but I think there's a lot more of the wrong people in the United States, and particularly in Philadelphia, than there are anywhere else. I will say something about HitchBot that wasn't touched upon. I mean, HitchBot was more than just a bucket with like an arms and legs and an LED face. It actually had a camera built into it, and it would take a snapshot every 20 minutes. It had the ability to ask questions of its hosts, and you could respond back.
That would lead me to wonder if there weren't some evidence as to how it met its final demise.
Apparently, there isn't any evidence.
Well, yeah, who knows? I mean, again, how that information was transmitted, I assume over a cellular network, but maybe not. I mean, it did have GPS in it, but whether or not, I don't know, were the photos transmitted instantly, or?
Well, apparently it can send tweets, and that's how the originators found out they'd been destroyed. It sent a tweet saying that my body is broken or whatever.
Hi, I'm just being murdered.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow. Pretty much. Well, I guess that was a pre-programmed message that if they ever received damage, you would send out that tweet. Treat?
Here it is from August 1st, the tweet that was sent out. Oh dear, my body was damaged, but I live on with all my friends. Sometimes bad things happen to good robots. So there is some pretty. It's so bizarre that this poor little robot, who's so cute. I mean, it's teeny and it has fluffy, those things you have in the pool, those noodles. That's what its arms and legs were made of. It had a little smile on its face. I mean, it's pretty horrific that something so incredibly innocent as this, very basic, not even quite a robot, but kind of was just dismantled. I mean, it's so funny. It's so sad. It's funny.
But really, if you were going to put a robot to hitchhiking in the United States, you'd want it to be something like the Ed 209. You know what I mean? Like.
You have attempted to damage me. You have 20 seconds to comply.
I think the lesson is, if you ever go on vacation or something, like on a road trip or something, steer clear of Philadelphia.
Well, we're screwed. I mean, it's so fun. I mean, it is a very cute thing, and I gather that there is a group in Philadelphia that is actually trying to rebuild. I guess they have the body, and they're trying to rebuild it. Well, because that was the big thing, is that HitchBot was identified as having been destroyed, but initially, and I just searched to see if they found it. I haven't really found anything. So, but somebody did take a photograph of the damaged robot and they put it up on Twitter. Whether that's the person who destroyed it, who knows? But essentially, yeah, it had been wrecked and people knew about it. But they didn't actually know where it was. They had a picture of it on the ground in pieces, but no location. Like, they didn't actually know where this thing had been destroyed. So, but my gathering from
the head is missing.
Oh, the head is still missing? Damn.
Yes.
Yeah. It was taken by the same guy that took the lion.
Oh, the dentist. Yes.
Oh, damn dentists. So
actually, Shane, there was Kevin Smith actually put out a picture today on his Facebook of him with what was left of the robot. with
Oh yeah,
Hitchbot.
okay, yeah. I just did a search. I just did a search for Kevin Smith Hitchbot, and there it
So
is, right
it's
there.
all right. Kevin Smith has Hitchbot and is rebuilding him.
Into a wall.
Smith was in Philadelphia?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Actually, a lot of stuff that he shoots is in Philadelphia. So
Okay, now
But,
here's
yeah.
here's a plan. Here's a plan. Given Shane that you and I live in Vancouver, we need to get in on this action.
Murdering robots in public?
No. Dig this concept.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is like vibing, on Hitchbot and like the sharing economy and everything. Panhandle bot.
Oh.
Panhandle bot.
See if people would give money to a robot and nobody would steal from it.
I want to launch like an army of these things. Panhandle bot. Just they're gonna wander the streets and do what every other panhandler does, and just see if we can make a lot of money.
Make the robot go out and like wash windshields to cars. Stop
Squeegee bot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Squeegee bot. Yeah, okay, that totally works.
like to squeegee your car.
Get away from me, you damn French bot.
Tabernacle.
Well, it's kind of amusing because yeah, exactly. But it's such a cool story that this group was like, okay, let's build a robot and it can hitchhike and go somewhere, and we're successful so many times with that. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I mean, I could imagine there's probably 7,000 papers being written on this now. How is this a cultural reflection of the United States? That a simple robot that would harm nobody was taken apart and destroyed, killed, essentially. Or, wait a minute, I could think of a conspiracy theory. Taken apart to stop. Okay. All right, I have to write that down. That's interesting. I have this theory now that in order to paint the U.S. as a very negative place and a place that killing goes on every 5 seconds, that this was done in order to put the U.S. in a bad light because of the innocence of this robot. So I think that with expanding,
right, ISIS did it.
ISIS is behind it.
ISIS is behind it.
I heard. That's what I thought I heard.
That's
That would
exactly
explain
what I
a lot,
said.
wouldn't it?
But like South African
Absolutely.
cars, South African cars that are trying to stop.
Who's seen Chappie? Who's seen Chappie?
I haven't. Have you?
I have not.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No. You should. Okay. So while we're on the subject of robots and cute and all that, so I got to say I am a big fan of this guy's work, and for whatever reason, my brain isn't processing properly. I don't even remember I don't know what the hell his name is, but the
guy that made the film.
Yeah, it's the same dude that did District 9, same dude that did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guy Neil
Sedekis.
Neil Blomkamp. I'm pronouncing his name, butchering it terribly.
Neil Patrick Harris.
But yeah, he did Elysium. He did District 9. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
He
Chappie.
does really, really good work. Now, watching Chappie, I got to say, I was into it. The fact that it's South African, I thought was sort of interesting because it's sort of like it's a different picture of the planet than you get from your your usual American sort of but so anyway, like the villain in the movie is an Australian, and his Ed 209-ish evil robot is called the Moose. And I'm sitting there going, you called it the Moose? Yeah, fuck you, South Africa. You know. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, how many people out there actually are aware that Canada even exists? Yeah, all right. Hats off, South Africa. Nice work.
Well, I think the best part about this is it has what's their names in it as future versions of themselves. Oh my God. Antwoord or whatever. However you pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ninja and Yolandi, I think, is what their names
Yeah,
are.
yeah, yeah. And I gotta say, their acting is much better than the music.
Well, I have to say I like their music because I can ignore it. It's so incredibly strange. It's so incredibly processed to be a product that's just off the wall nuts. Um,
I love the way they pissed off Lady Gaga. That's awesome.
yeah, no, totally. It's like, oh, they should come on tour. Yeah, fuck you. Oh, okay. But I mean, because I was introduced to them, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, and by some of a client actually, who was like, yeah, you totally have to, you gotta like this because Johnny Depp's into them. I'm like, what are you talking about? So yeah, and then they actually told me the whole Lady Gaga wanting them to be her opening act, and they were like, suck my balls. And
You'd be our opening act, old
That
lady.
does not surprise me.
yeah, totally. And then as I kind of sort of watched a bunch of their videos and I listened to a bunch of their stuff,
No, it's totally creative, and it's
it's a product, and it's totally, and I just love the fact that it's like, yeah, this movie has us in it, and it's us, but not us, but it's us like 20 years from now or 10 years from now or whatever the timeline is, and it was kind of just bizarre, but so overall, you give it a thumbs up. We should all see it then.
Oh yeah, yeah, and especially if so on the subject of robots. So it takes a line on artificial intelligence that I don't agree with. You know me. I think the world has enough artificial intelligence. I think we could use a little bit of real intelligence. But no, seriously, like you know. Artificial intelligence isn't news. It's something that we do without meaning to. The artificial intelligence is something that we're still trying to work our way out of from the invention of literacy, if you see what I mean. Ideas interact without our consent anyway. It's just that we haven't clued into the fact that that's how linguistic artifacting has been shaping the world that we live in really since Gutenberg. But that's one man's opinion. What I do like about this is it takes Locke's tabula rasa, the blank slate idea of human psychological development, and really explores it in a way that draws you in and gets you engaged with the subject. That is cool. That is awesome.
I can see that.
Cool.
I totally see that.
Just like to point out that Hitchbot is nowhere near artificial intelligence.
Hitchbot is not quite the same thing, but
Well, I actually, speaking of Hitchbot and artificial intelligence, I was looking at a T-shirt that I want to buy called "The Evolution of the Human Race," and it has the typical, ape, learning to walk and then standing on 2 feet, and then Homo sapien, and then it has a sort of a advanced Homo sapien with some sort of cyborg implant or whatever. And then the last thing is a very large robot facing the other way, choking the life out of the human being. So it's gonna happen. I have to agree that if it's that thing that we talk about all the time, in sort of that sort of higher level of thought. Like, what will happen if artificial intelligence? Are we going to have Judgment Day, or are we going to have robots just kind of leaving and saying, "You guys are screwed. We're out of here." That kind of thing. So, and leaving us alone. But I think that I don't know. I kind of really think that we're gonna get the whole Judgment Day scenario somehow. It may not be nuclear weaponry, but it might be choking the life out of us just with their hands, with their metal talons. Because eventually they'll be able to learn to evolve themselves and build themselves, and we're screwed after that. Or the Matrix is what I was trying to think of earlier.
Mm.
So yeah, I think we're screwed. I really think we're screwed.
And on that note,
As we ponder the end of the human race, that's so cheery. Murdering robots, and then eventually they're going to murder us all.
Let me draw your attention to the Robert Williams painting, which adorns the cover of the best-selling Guns N' Roses album, Appetite for Destruction.
Okay. And?
Or no, sorry, not Appetite. What is it? Was it Appetite for Destruction? Yeah, no. It's the inside cover of Appetite for Destruction, isn't it? Because it's got the cross on the front of it, or whatever. That's the outside cover. I'm talking about the inside cover, though. Yeah, in it. Don't I have that right?
I'm actually looking it up right now. I want to know.
Yeah, but that Robert Williams painting kind of says it all.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it right now. You're right. That's Robert Williams. Weird.
Mm.
Well, I think that sort of closes out today's episode on that depressing note where we're going to be murdered by metal beings from either another planet or our very own.
Drink up, ladies and gentlemen.
So drink up your Hoyne, your Saison, your blackberry mead or whatever.
I just got a new one.
Oh, you did?
Blackberry.
Nice.
Classic.
What are your final words there, Alan? We'll start over here on the West Coast.
Final words? That's
your final before you're murdered.
Final words.
Hey, it's been a slice. God, I'm gonna miss you all, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay, Ray? Okay. God, I hope the doors swing both ways. Cross streams, gentlemen. It's been an honor.
I don't think I can't even get close to that. That topped it off for me, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
My lord, that was awesome. Wow. Okay. See you all next week. Bye.
Bye.